Hi guys, and welcome into my video review of BRZHifi or Waylang Audio, because they are the same company, headphone amplifier model E600. So this is something I got off Ali during last sale because it was cheap and because I saw the photos of the internals and they were looking very promising. So let's start with what it is. It's a headphone amplifier. It's a headphone amplifier that can be driven with balanced source or single-ended source, and it's also able to deliver the audio signal via single-ended outputs or balanced outputs in two standards. This is XLR 4-pin, and we have also two XLRs 3 pins for left and right channels, but beware, these are connectors for headphones, not for regular XLRs, though the plug is the same. What's the difference? The difference is that the ground connector on headphone connectors is not connected, so we're using only hot and cold pins. Okay, this device is a headphone amplifier that's boasting the use of double TPA 6120 integrated amplifiers from Texas Instruments, and the producer says that THD is as low as 14/10,000%, so basically 0.00014%. So it's supposed to be very, very clean sounding. So let's start with the tour of the outsides. So let it opened, so I have to keep it in my hands. On the front side, we have on and off selector. We have status LED. We have selector for inputs, for XLR or RCA connector inputs, so we can connect two sources to this amplifier. And we have gain selector. The top position is for low gain. The low position is for high gain, which is kind of funny because I would think that they should be the other way around. Okay, then we have XLR outputs for a balanced connection to your headphones. Then we have 4-pin XLR connector to your balanced headphones, and we have single-ended jack. And we have some very nice and tactile volume control. There's nothing on the top. On the sides, there's only one thing, the sticker with the operational amplifier inside. You can get this amplifier with three types of... you can get this headphone amplifier with 3 types of opamps inside. The cheapest version is 5532 operational amplifier. The most expensive version is Muses 02. And in the middle we have Muses, I think 8890. But as you can see, I got the cheapest version and I've paid for it $150 shipping included. And it doesn't really matter because the opamps are user replaceable. So you can choose the opamps of your liking and just replace them. Nothing on this side. In the back we have gold-plated RCA inputs. We have XLR inputs balanced. We have voltage selector because this one can work with 110 or 220 volts. And we have power connector with integrated fuse compartment. On the bottom of the device, we have two interesting things. The first thing are rubber feet. They are quite thick and they are quite nice. And we have a sticker with model name, with input voltages, and one interesting thing. That's what got my attention. It's supposed to deliver 1.5 watts per channel. It's not written here, but it's per channel. Why is it important? Because I bought it because I was looking for a headphone amplifier that would be able to drive my HiFi HE6 V2, which is version 2 of the second edition of HE6 planar headphone from HiFi Man. The HD6 are known to be power hungry, and they are known because it's very, very hard to drive them. This baby can do that with no sweat. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So let's take a look inside. The build quality of the case. As you can see, it's solid aluminum. It's thick, solid aluminum. I don't really dig the color. I think I'll paint the sides and the top lid black, or I'll just wrap it in vinyl wrap, which probably will be cheaper, faster and reversible. But now let's see what do we have inside. Do I have a pointer here? Yes, I do. Something like a pointer. Okay, maybe let's change the zoom. Yeah, that's better. Okay, the first thing, we have Alps volume controller. The funny thing is that this Alps is powered. It's not connected, as you can see, but the theory says that if you connect the power and if you connect the higher receiver with controller chip, you'll be able to control the volume on that with remote, because you already have the small powered driver here. Then we have two TPA 6120 chips. As you can see, we have completely balanced connection. There are symmetrical circuits for the left and the right channel. We have some nice ZIMA capacitors. We have some relays for some Chinese relays. But the most important thing here is that we have two socketable opamps. Like that. Yep. And I can replace that. Of course, I need to check the polarity. I need to check where the pin 1 is. But I can do that like that. Why it's important? Why it's important and a very nice thing to have. I'll talk about that later. So, two TPA chips, very high quality chips. We have a board model and number. It's E600 version 1.7. We have BRZHifi transformer in plastic case. It can be replaced with Talema or something else if you're into do it yourself, but I don't see the point for that. Another thing I wanted to point out is that all connectors here and in the back are Neutrix ones. I'm not sure, yes, we can see the logo here, and the Neutrix here in the front will have the logo inside. I hope you can see that. Yeah, you should be able to see that. So very high quality parts, ability to change opamps, and two very high class and powerful cheap amplifiers from Texas Instruments. And we have two capacitors on the power section. These are novel capacitors. They can be replaced with something better, although they are nice in that regard that they have, as you should be able to see, maybe, possibly, yes, 6,800 microfarads. So in total we have more than 13,000 of microfarads in capacitors here, which is a very good thing because the power supply will be stable even with heavy load. Okay, what else should I mention here? I've mentioned the quality of the parts, the clean build here. Okay, now you may have heard or read about that amplifier on web forums like HiFi and a couple of others. There are some guys that are stating that there are two problems with this headphone amplifier. The first problem is supposed to have something with switching left and right channels. The guys there are stating that the left and right channels are mixed up, and the actual right channel is here in left, and the left channel is here marked as right. Well, I've checked that and that's not true. Maybe they've changed something in the construction, maybe they fixed something, or maybe the guys were simply wrong, because they say that they have the amplifiers with exactly the same board number, V1.7. So either they're wrong or the manufacturer fixed something without changing the printout on the board, which is also possible. But the left channel here is left channel here. The right channel is also right channel here. So no problems with left and right channels mix up. The other thing they were talking about is that the balanced outputs are not in phase with input signals. I've checked that. Connecting some small speaker here and watching the movement of the membrane with 2 Hz signal, because 2 Hz is pretty slow, and if you know what kind of signal you gave on the input, so for example in my case it was sinusoidal like that, so on this slope the speaker would move forward, and on downward slope it would move backward. And I've checked that with the small car speaker, and the movement, forward and rearward movement, was consistent with the signal fed on the balanced inputs. So I cannot confirm that it has problems with channels or phase. Everything's fine. According to my tests and according to my hearing, everything is fine, actually more than fine, but we'll get to that. Okay, so we've talked about the insides. I will leave it like that, because I really like the build inside. It's quite heavy. I think it's about 2 kilograms. It's quite heavy, but as you can see, the rubber feet are doing the good work. Okay, we've covered the build quality, we've covered the legends about the channel problems. This is perfectly fine headphone amplifier, nothing wrong with it. So let's move the sound. I gave it a proper burn-in. I've left it playing for something like 200 hours. It was playing and burning some of my cables. Okay, so maybe before I go to the sound qualities, I'll cover one more thing. As I told you, we can replace opamps. This is a very important feat, because with changing opamps, we are able to change the signature of the amplifier. The amplifier is totally transparent, but when we change the opamps, we are able to influence the sound signature. I've bought the cheapest version because I already knew that I'll be removing this NE5532 opamps, and I will be replacing them with something better. At the moment, we have 2 OPA828 operational amplifiers in here. These are using connectors to deep 8 sockets, and all of my testing was primarily done with these opamps, but I've also checked other ones. So now let's talk about sound qualities with OPA828. OPA828 is currently the top of the line operational amplifier from Texas Instruments that's produced for audio purposes. With that opamps, the bass was very precise, very clean, fast, and it went very low. It has this nice slam. The thing is that I was checking this amplifier with my HE6 and with HiFi Man Aria. Aria is not very well known for bass slam, but with this powerful headphone amplifier, it was going really low. Also, I was able to power HE6 with no problems. The recommended power of the headphone amplifier for HE6 is 1.2 watt or above. This one has 1.5 watts per channel, and it was really good and really loud with HD6. So we've covered the bass. The mids. The mids are very clean, very natural, and very, very detailed and airy. There is a nice distinction between instruments. You can easily pinpoint the locations of instruments in the scene, and the same goes for treble. The same qualities extend into treble region. The treble is very airy, it's very transparent, it sounds very, very clean. No fog, no muddiness, just a clean, nice, very transparent audio from this amplifier. What's important, there is no sibilance. Very often, treble, high treble, and transparent treble comes with sibilance. Not in this case. In this case, there's no sibilance whatsoever. With these operational amplifiers, we have absolutely stunning level of detail. Every little piece of sound coming from your strings, your brass instruments, every sound that happens in the background, in the recording studio, can be recovered and heard. So that's absolutely amazing. What's the important thing is that the qualities of the amplifier are apparent not only when using balanced connection, but also on single-ended. It has, I think it has the very best single-ended output that I've heard compared to all other amplifiers or integrated amplifiers that I had in my possession. This one is very, very clean on single-ended and even better on balanced connection. But the difference is not that big. I'm used to having a balanced connection being way better than single-ended. In this case, the single-ended is so good that that balance brings some new things to the table, but the difference is not staggering, which is basically very good in my book. Also, by the way, you can use both outputs at the same time. You can use single-ended and one of the balanced outputs at the same time, so you can have two pairs of headphones connected, and you can connect two sources in the back. So it's also a very nice thing. Okay, so the last part of the review. I've told you that the sound changes with the operational amplifiers that you'll use. Here we have OPA 828, but I've also checked this with OPA 6.627, and it also sounded splendid. A little bit more warm, a little bit more organic in the bass, but also a little bit less detailed, because OPAs 828 are known for being very detailed operational amplifiers. What other opamps I can recommend? I can recommend two others. The first set is, these are actually the same, OPA 1656. These are also very, very good, very clean, very transparent, very natural. Not on the level of OP828, but also very good and worth recommending, because both of these are slightly cheaper. We also have here OP8 1612, and these were also splendid. If I would be stating them from, maybe not the worst, because neither of them is bad. The best are OPAs 828. Then I would have OP8 627, and like that. So 1656, 1656, and then 1612, all OPAs. But the best, absolutely the best sound was when I've used my discrete Acliam LC2, LC3. What's the marking in here? LC2 operational amplifiers. These are pure Class A operational amplifiers. I have two of them, one per channel. As you can see, they fit perfectly, but there is one problem with them. The problem is that they are quite hard to drive, they require a lot of power, so I was able to use them and listen to them, but only with low volume levels. When I went for more than 30% of volume setting, they switched off. It was safe, they just switched off. I've ordered Aliexpress LC5s, the new Class A Aliexpress produced operational amplifiers, because they are supposed to be better and they are supposed to require less power. So I'll do the proper review on LC5s when I get them. I'll compare them to LC2s, and I hope they will work here, because the sound quality with discrete LC2 was absolutely stunning. It was simply amazing. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed for LC5 to work correctly in this one. So the important thing to learn here is that you can change the character of this headphone amplifier with your operational amplifiers. If you use something that's analytical and precise, like OPA 828, the headphone amplifier will be precise and detailed. If you give it something warmer, more organic, it will be warmer and more organic. So you can tune the sound of this headphone amplifier to your preference easily, cheaply, and in a quick way, with just replacing these two chips here. So all in all, this is the value king for me. Not because it's cheap, but because it sounds amazing. It's really good, and the price is ridiculously low. For example, I've had Short Mojo, I've had Aune, I think it was A7S or something like that, headphone amplifier. Both Short and Aune were like 5 times or 6 times more expensive, and this sounds better. Arguably, you may say that Mojo 2 is on a similar level, depending on the qualities you like in your music, but it beats Aune hands down. You can buy them only in silver, unfortunately. You can buy them with either BRZHifi or Waylang audio mark on the front. You can see sometimes that the screw for the headphone connector, Singleended headphone connector, is black, which would look nicer, a little bit nicer than my silver. And that's it. Seriously, guys, buy it and thank me later. It's that good. Buy the cheapest version. Do not bother with muses. Buy the cheapest version. Buy the set of operational amplifiers and enjoy op-amp rolling. If you're not that much into op-amp rolling, I recommend you to start with OPA 627. If you're looking for the more precise sound, which doesn't mean that OPA 627 is not precise. It's, after all, it's a previous generation flagship device from Texas Instruments. But OPA 627, OPA 828, OPA 1656, and OPA 1612. They are absolutely great choices, either of them. That's it. I may do another video when I do a vinyl wrapping of the sides and of the top lid of the amplifier. And if you have any questions, if you're wondering about something, if you'd like me to cover something in more detail, just ask me in the questions. And for now, let's see. Let's do a slow flyby. Yep. Now here. that's it. Okay, one more thing. The place here connects the ground of the case with the ground of the PCB board. I've read on the web some guys have the boom, have the 50 Hertz sound coming from the amplifier when the sound was when the music was not playing, and he solved this by disconnecting the connection here. It's just a solder blob, and he connected a capacitor here. It's a standard technique for separating the shielding, the case grounding with PCB grounding, to have a capacitor here. So you may, if you encounter something like that, which I did not, but if you will, you may just remove the solder blob here and try to listen there, and maybe replace the blob with capacitor, which is basically, I don't think it's needed. I haven't had that issue. I haven't had that issue. It's dead silent, no unwanted sounds whatsoever. So, really, really highly recommended. Once again, buy it, listen to it, enjoy your music, and thank me later. I hope you enjoyed this small video. At one point in time, I will do a review and maybe comparison of different types of opamps, because that's not the end of my collection. There's a special box with different types of opamps inside, so I may do a video on that, on opamp rolling, but it's dangerous, because once you'll start, you'll end up with a box like that. And the same goes for tubes. Once you'll start with rolling the tubes, you'll finish with a large box with different tubes from different eras. Okay, once again, I hope you enjoyed this video. See you soon. Ask me questions about this headphone amplifier, ask me questions about the opamps. Basically, just ask me questions in the comments section. See you next time, and have a great day. Bye, guys.